I mean, I remember just after I finished university, I'd graduated, I'd become a Christian a year or two before that. I was in a job working in fundraising, and I was just bored out of my mind with my job. And God started doing a work in my life. I was brought up in a good family, but I started reading and reading in the Bible this idea that God had a heart for the broken. That those people in society who were most disadvantaged, who were maybe on the edge and struggling in various ways, that they had a special place in God's heart. He had a particular attention for them. And as I kind of read the Bible and read about God's heart, and I started to find something happening inside me, that those words about God's heart started to become my heart a little bit, and I started to have, from nowhere really, I wasn't having a strong sense of compassion, but I just found it started to stir up, and I started finding this desire to find a way to express that, to maybe care for some broken or disadvantaged people. And gradually, as I kind of worked that out, and it was like a big world change for me. It was like upside down. It was not part of my history or background at all. I started to kind of zone in and get very concrete on the idea of working with homeless people. And it got stronger and stronger to the point where I thought, actually, God is asking me to go and work with homeless people from nowhere. And I just graduated from university with a degree in accountancy. I worked in fundraising. I didn't know anything about it, but I just had this sense, this stirring. And I just decided I'm going to do it. And I remember a few weeks later, it was the beginning of New Year. It was the first service in January. I was at a church, and the person leading the meeting just said, I wonder if anyone's got any New Year's resolutions they've made, any resolutions for the year. And I found myself standing up in front of all these people and just blurting out, this year I'm going to work with homeless people. I didn't know any homeless people. I didn't know how you get a job in working with homeless people. I didn't have any experience, but I just blurted it out in front of everybody. Quite a bold statement to make at the time. And then after the service, the meeting, this guy come up to me and he said, we're going to be opening a new project for homeless people in Edinburgh, and we'll be applying for staff. You might want to apply. And in the end, I did apply for a job at that place, and I got invited for an interview, which made no sense because I had nothing of experience. And I remember going to the interview thinking, I know nothing about homelessness. And so I went and spent some time with somebody who knew some stuff, and I just asked them all sorts of questions because I knew nothing. I just didn't even know how do people become homeless. I'd only ever rented privately, so I knew nothing about social housing. I was like, well, if someone becomes homeless, how do they find a house, and how do they get benefits? And I just knew absolutely nothing. And I had this one conversation with this guy where I just asked him stuff and I wrote it all down. And then I went to this job interview and I basically just said what I knew, which was a couple of minutes from that conversation. And I got the job, and I ended up, I don't know how, but I ended up working with homeless people. Sometimes when we're bold, it leads us into extraordinary places.